Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. So today I'm just using three colours. I'm using a black, a white and a gold. I'm using the Liquitex Pouring Medium and I'm using a 24 by 24 inch canvas. I'll take you down so you can see the canvas. I'll show you the colours and the brands, but don't forget I always list that information in the description box below. So just expand that slightly and you'll see lots of information and lots of hints and tips as well. So, are we ready? I know I am. Let's see what we can create. So let me just show you the canvas first. So I said that this was a 24 by 24 inch canvas. It's a deep edge, but it's also gallery wrapped. And what that means, let me just take some of the tape off. You can see that it's neatly tucked behind the wood. So that's what gallery wrapped means. So all I do is I tape off the canvas just so it's really neat on the back. It doesn't really matter if there's lots of paint, but personally I like a clean back. And again, it just depends what your clients want to. So I've just taped that off. I'm using the Liquitex Pouring Medium. So as you can see, it's literally straight out of the bottle. I'm not adding any water to these paints, so I'm using the Winsor & Newton brand for the black and the gold. And then I'm using Daler Rowney's System 3 acrylic for the white. So all of these paints have been mixed only with the pouring medium, so there's no water in this. And you can see that it trickles off my spatula into the cup. It doesn't leave a mound upon a mound, it literally just disappears. So that's the consistency that you're looking for. And that's the same with all of the colours. So that's the white, the black and the gold. I always find this does leave a glossy finish, or a glossier finish than normal. So it'll be interesting to see the finished product. And because I'm using the Liquitex Pouring Medium, I'm also using some protective gloves as well when I pour. So, let's go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is place the paint that I've mixed with the pouring medium into 3 separate cups. I'm using see-through cups just so you can see how I'm layering all of my paints in each cup. So I'm going to alternate the colours as I pour, but they're going to be exactly the same for each of the cups. I start off with a black, then I'm adding the gold, and then I'll add the white. And I'll continue to do that one by one, alternating between the gold, the black and the white, until all 3 cups are full with the paint. And you'll see that I don't actually put too much gold in. I'm trying to put a bit more black and white. And remember, when we stretch this out, that black and white will infuse together to create a grey tone. So although we're using 3 different colours, the black and white will create some different tones that are infused together. And that's going to be really interesting too. So I'll continue pouring the paint into my cups before we start off with the creation. And remember, I'm not adding a base colour to this at all. The only paint that I'm going to use is the paint that we're puddling into the cups. So I'm happy with the volume of paint that we've got, and I'm going to put my gloves on and get ready to pour. I'm literally pouring the paint from the cup onto the surface area of the canvas in a puddle, just going back and forth to create some lines as I do that. As I pour, remember the paint that you put into the cup first is going to be the colour that comes out last. So when you're puddling your paints into your cup, think about the colour that you want to be almost more prominent, because that's going to be the colour that comes out of your cup last. But it's also going to be the colour that's on the surface area. So it's likely that that's the paint that's going to also be pushed off of the canvas if you're tilting it to create a certain pattern on top. I'm just doing some wider circles just so I've got some different lines when I stretch out. I'm literally going to pick up the canvas and swirl that paint around the canvas. So remember, there's no paint on the base, therefore there's no paint to help this paint that we've already placed on the canvas to flow. So there is enough volume of paint for the full surface area of the canvas, but it's just ensuring that you're looking at your paint as you tip your canvas to have a look at where it goes and to look at the overall composition of this piece. I am going to use my blowtorch just to pop any air bubbles, and I'm going to use that now. That's just to ensure that those air bubbles are popped before I continue with the process. And then it's about picking up the canvas again and tilting it from side to side. But before I do that, let me show you some of those lines and some of that detail. And I don't know if I've got enough gold. I didn't want gold to really take over this piece, but I hope I've got enough of it in there so it shines through on the final design. So now it's time to cover the canvas fully with the paint that we've already got on top. I just tilt from side to side, and then when I'm ready, I just allow that paint to flow over the edges, and then I tilt the canvas back on itself to bring that paint back onto the canvas, to allow that volume of paint to go from one area to another. And don't be afraid to just tilt your canvas and turn it when you want to. It's about distributing the paint that you've already got on your canvas to the areas that need to be covered. And think about the lines and the pattern that you're creating when you're tilting and opening up this design, because that's about looking at the overall composition of this piece. As I'm tilting, I'm seeing the lines really open up, and I'm actually tilting at quite a high degree because I really want some of those lines to stretch. I want some lines to go really, really fine. And I'll show you what I intended to do, and hopefully it's going to work out. And I'll take you in for a closer look just so you can see some of those lines too. But if you're enjoying my video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Let me know what you think about this piece as it evolves in the comments below. You can see here how some of those lines are really stretching out. And the key to this is not to rush the process. Take your time to stretch. Take your time to bring the paint back on itself to allow you to have that volume of paint to stretch across the full area of the canvas. So I'm going to take you in now so you can see the wet version. I'm not going to tweak this anymore. I'm really happy with the lines that have been created, and I hope I've got enough gold to ensure that it shows as a colour but also shimmers throughout this piece. And I just love how that black and white have infused together and worked together to create that grey colour and all those different tones. There's some real dark black, there's the white, and there's everything in between. And by using the black and white to create the grey, gives shadow and depth to this piece. I'm confident it's going to dry the same, but I'm really loving the details of the lines and the areas where I really stretched quite harshly at a higher angle, has ensured that there's some different depth to the lines too. I'm going to let this dry and then I'll show you the dried version. So here we go, here's the dried result. It's not varnished, but you will see by using the Liquitex Pouring Medium, there is definitely more of a glossy, shiny finish to this piece. It's been so much fun using a different pouring medium. I either use my Otrol Floetrol or just paint and water, but using a different pouring medium really helps me evolve and experiment too. Let me know if you've used Liquitex, or let me know what your favourite pouring medium is, or even if you just like the paint and water combination for your creations. I really love the lines that have been created here. Remember, I do love to hear from you, so let me know what you think about this piece down below in the comments section. And I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me week after week. It's a real privilege and pleasure to be able to showcase how I learn and how I can teach the different tutorials. Thank you again for all of your support, and I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Have a great week ahead. Take care of yourselves and enjoy your own creativity too. And I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.